Ethan Miles was the kind of boy the world forgot. At school, he sat at the back of the classroom, hoodie up, eyes down. He wasn't the troublemaker or the genius, just the quiet one. To most people, Ethan didn't even exist. He walked the same path every day, from his small apartment to school, headphones on, pretending not to care that no one ever said hello. He didn't join clubs. He didn't talk in class. He didn't believe he was meant for anything more. At home, life wasn't much brighter. His father, once a proud factory worker, had lost his job months ago. The house was filled with silence, the kind that feels heavy like unspoken sadness. His mother worked double shifts at a diner, coming home with tired eyes and hands that smelled like coffee and bleach. Sometimes she'd gently say, "Ethan, I know things are hard, but you've got something special. Don't hide it." He'd just nod and retreat to his room, thinking, "Special? Me? I'm just nobody." Ethan's escape was drawing. Not fancy art, just small sketches on the corners of his notebooks. Broken things, mostly shattered clocks, wilted flowers, cracked mirrors. He never showed them to anyone. They were just his way of saying what words couldn't. One afternoon, while students packed up for lunch, his art teacher, Mr. Reynolds, noticed one of Ethan's sketches, a picture of a broken clock slowly repairing itself, one gear at a time. Mr. Reynolds looked at the page, then at Ethan. "That's powerful," he said softly. Ethan froze. "It's just a doodle." "No, it's not," the teacher replied. "You drew time healing itself." "That's not nothing, Ethan." Ethan didn't know how to respond. No one had ever looked at his work or at him like that. Before leaving, Mr. Reynolds said something Ethan would never forget. "You may feel broken, Ethan, but even broken things can move again if someone believes in them." That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about that sentence. Even broken things can move again. He opened his sketchbook and started drawing. This time, a boy sitting in the rain, holding a small candle that refused to go out. The next morning, he hesitated, then took a picture of it and posted it online. He titled it, "It's Never Too Late to Fix Yourself." He expected nothing, maybe a few likes from bots. But when he checked his phone that night, his post had exploded. Thousands of comments, hundreds of shares. People wrote things like, "I needed this today. This made me cry. Thank you. You don't know me, but your art saved my day." Ethan stared at the screen, his heart racing. For the first time, his voice, through his art, had reached someone. Ethan began to draw every night. Each piece told a story of pain, hope, failure, and healing. He posted them under the name The Silent Dreamer. One drawing showed a cracked mirror that reflected a brighter version of the person staring into it. Another showed a single seed growing through concrete. His following grew, slowly at first, then rapidly. He started receiving messages from people around the world. A girl battling depression in Japan. A man recovering from addiction in the US. A single mother in India who said his art helped her keep going. Ethan was stunned. He was still the same boy, the quiet kid in class, but now people were calling him an inspiration. One day, his school announced an annual talent and creativity expo. Students were encouraged to showcase something they were proud of: music, dance, art, anything. Mr. Reynolds approached Ethan after class. "You should present your work," he said. Ethan laughed nervously. "Me? I can't stand on a stage. People will laugh. Maybe, or maybe they'll listen. Isn't it time you believed in yourself as much as they do?" Ethan thought about it for days. That night, his mom came home, exhausted as usual. She found Ethan still awake, sitting at the kitchen table, surrounded by sketches. "These are yours?" she asked, her eyes wide. He nodded. Tears filled her eyes. "Ethan, these are beautiful. You have to show people this." And that was it, the push he needed. The night of the expo arrived. The school gym buzzed with students, teachers, and parents. Ethan stood backstage, shaking, holding his folder of drawings. When his name was called, his legs felt like stone. But he stepped out anyway. A large screen behind him displayed his art, one image at a time. He took a deep breath and said into the microphone, "I used to think I was nobody, that my voice didn't matter. But sometimes, even silence has something to say." He talked about feeling invisible about the words Mr. Reynolds once told him, and about how one small post changed everything. When the slideshow ended, there was a long, stunned silence, and then applause. Not polite claps, real applause. Loud, lasting. For the first time, Ethan smiled on stage, not out of pride, but peace. Within weeks, his story spread beyond the school. Local newspapers wrote about the silent dreamer. He was invited to speak at youth programs and art events. Colleges offered him scholarships. But Ethan never bragged. Every time someone asked about his success, he said, "I didn't change overnight. I just decided to stop hiding." Years passed. Ethan grew into a confident, humble young artist. His work now appeared in galleries and mental health campaigns. But he never forgot the boy who once sat alone at the back of the class. One rainy afternoon, Ethan returned to his old school as a guest speaker. Walking through the halls felt surreal. The same faded walls, the same echo of laughter from classrooms. Before stepping on stage, he spotted a boy sitting alone in the corner, sketching quietly in a notebook. Ethan smiled. He walked over and knelt beside him. "That's a good drawing," Ethan said. The boy looked up surprised. "It's nothing, just something I do when I'm bored." Ethan grinned. "It's never nothing. Trust me, I used to sit right where you are." The boy blinked. "You're the silent dreamer?" Ethan nodded. "Yeah, and I started with one sketch, just like you." Before walking away, he added softly, "Remember, even broken things can move again." When Ethan stepped onto the stage, hundreds of students cheered his name. He looked out at their faces, hopeful, curious, alive. He began, "I wasn't born special. I was quiet, scared, and unsure. I thought being nobody meant I couldn't make a difference. But I learned something. Change doesn't start when the world sees you. It starts when you decide to see yourself." He paused, letting the words sink in. "Maybe you feel lost right now. Maybe you think you'll never matter. But I promise you, your story isn't over. The power to change isn't out there somewhere. It's inside you, waiting for that first brave step." The room was silent, every student listening, eyes wide. Ethan smiled. "I was a nobody once. But today, I stand here as proof that anyone, from anywhere, can become an inspiration." That night, Ethan walked home through the rain. The streetlights shimmered on the wet pavement. He looked up at the sky, letting the rain wash over his face. He thought about his mother, his teacher, the strangers his art had touched, and the boy he once was. He whispered to himself, "Maybe I was never nobody. Maybe I just needed to believe." A gentle smile crossed his lips as he disappeared into the glow of the streetlights. A living reminder that the smallest change can lead to the biggest transformation.